All right, welcome back. We are here again to get into some more real money fantasy football drafts. I'm very excited to get into this with you guys today, being that today is 4th of July. So, as the title promised, we just grabbed some Daddy D's barbecue. We're about to get into the fantasy football draft, and we got ourselves little brewski right here as well. So like I said, I hope everyone's hanging out with some family, friends. I don't know, spending time with some good people today on this long weekend. And I'm just excited to get into this and draft some more teams per usual. We're trying to do this as much as possible. Pretty much every day, but we usually skip maybe 1 or 2 days in the week. We skipped 2 this week, I think, because of the holiday weekend, obviously, because your boy was trying to spend some time with some family as well. But we're getting back into it. Usually, when I miss a day, I do a Best Ball Mania draft. I think I might give myself a pass just because it's a holiday weekend. But we did get into we've gotten into 2 Best Ball Mania drafts so far. So go check those out on the channel if you haven't seen them already. Top prize for those is $2 million. So it's a $25 entry fee, and it's pretty exciting. But this is a $3 entry fee with the top payout being $20. You're only competing against these 12 teams. It's not a tournament. I think, what is it? Second place gets like $15, and then second place gets $9, and then third place gets their money back. So top 25% get their money back or more in these drafts. If you want to get into some of these fantasy football drafts, go to underdogfantasy.com and use code FFX54. You'll be able to get 100% match on your first deposit anywhere from $10 to $100. So if you put $100 in, you get a free $100 that same second, and then you can get into as many of these drafts as you want. I do think there's going to be a puppy draft coming up here soon. Another one that is, because we just had a Superflex puppy draft fill up. So I'm assuming in probably this week at some point, we'll probably get another one, if I had to guess. But cheers, everybody. Hope you guys are having a good holiday. Now, we're picking at the 103 here. I don't know if I've had too many 103 picks. I have had a lot of 2s and a lot of like 5s and 6s, but we'll see. I'll probably end up getting Cooper Kupp or Christian McCaffrey here. JT goes. I'm definitely going to get whoever Sky doesn't take. I'm really tempted to go Justin Jefferson as well if it's between him and Cooper Kupp, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull the trigger on that. Wow. So he goes Jamar Chase. So we have our option. Do we want Christian McCaffrey or do we want Cooper Kupp? Let's go Cooper Kupp. We don't have a whole lot of Cooper Kupp this year. And being that we can get him at the 3rd pick, it's a little different. So maybe we'll get some values falling to us in the later rounds and be able to make kind of special team. This is a tournament draft, as I said, so it's not as important, but I do like to switch it up. And if Cooper Kupp's going to fall to us, then we'll take him. To be honest with you, I don't know if I really do feel like Justin Jefferson is going to be the number 1 wide receiver overall this year. So my brain tells me to pick Justin Jefferson over Cooper Kupp, but the ADP tells me otherwise, so we're going to go Cooper Kupp here. And we do have more Justin Jefferson already than we do Cooper Kupp as far as exposure goes. And yes, it's not a tournament, but I have said that I like switching up the strategies and since this is my first year in a best ball format draft. I've done plenty of fantasy football before, but this is the first year in this format for me. So what I'm trying to do is get as much experience and as many lines in the water as possible, just for my own analytics. So after this year, I can go back and see what worked, what didn't, what strategies work, and what didn't. And then next year and previous year and years following, we'll do the same thing, and we'll just keep getting better. If you didn't know, this channel is brand new. I think we have a little over 20 videos at this point. I told you we post them pretty much every day at this point for the past month, and we're going to continue doing it. As the season gets closer, we'll start drafting some redraft style leagues. Then when the season starts, we will make some videos on weekly rankings as well as probably do some weekly drafts as well with FanDuel. But we'll just have to wait and see it as far as the season goes and the weekly drafts. I know I do want to do weekly rankings. So subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, like the video, get involved now because we're just getting started. I'm refining the room a little bit as we go. You can see I got some nice decor back here. I got a couple plants from Costco and some skate decks. So the room's kind of getting to a point that is, that I'm happy with. I do still want to get some sound deadening panels on the wall, just so if there is any echo off from my voice off the wall, we can mitigate that. But we're just getting started, so might as well subscribe to the channel if you like what you see and you like the content we're putting out. And that would show me some support, but it will also keep you posted for these rankings and the future fantasy football talk of the channel. So I just love hanging out on here, get some people in the chat, talk some football. That's really all it's about. I was doing these drafts anyways, so to be able to just stream for you guys and hear your takes and chat with you while I do it is all the better. So I really appreciate all the support we have had so far, and we just are looking to continue to grow and get some more people in here and get some chats going and maybe even some leagues of our own once we get some enough people that maybe I'll host some sort of giveaway and we'll do like a private league that you get invited to. So enough talking. We are coming up here at the 2-3 turn. And since we took Cooper Kupp first, I'm looking to go with two running backs here. I really am hoping to get Saquon Barkley, but that would be I would be surprised if that happened. My only thought is going like a one running back and then maybe Keenan Allen or something like that. But we'll just have to wait and see. If Saquon Barkley makes it one more pick, we're going to take him. I do think Wonder Kid will probably go with him right here, though, if I had to guess. He went with Justin Jefferson first overall for his team. So he might be looking for a running back here. I am debating, should we just do a wide receiver build right now? Should we give that a whirl? Because I usually don't do that. Like, maybe we go, nah, we can't. Saquon Barkley still available. Saquon Barkley not listed on injury report. Yeah, that was last year. Okay. Yeah, we're going Saquon Barkley. The thing about Saquon Barkley is I think a lot of people, I think he's being drafted in the range he is just because of his injury history, and I think people have PTSD and they're tired of giving him a chance, and he keeps disappointing. And you keep giving him chances, and he keeps disappointing. So I get it. I understand why people are shying away from him. Totally valid. And if it's a redraft league, I don't know if I'm taking him just because he's not reliable. However, his ceiling is extremely high. So we're going to take him. And if he does make it through the season, he's going to have a great season. And you can look at his rookie year for that. He had one of the best rookie seasons of all time. We still have Lenny available here as well. Nick Chubb is enticing, but I think we're going to go Lenny just based off of the offense in general. It's just he's in a better situation in Tampa Bay. Shout out to Chris, who does not take any Tampa Bay Bucks. I do agree with you in the sense that I think, he was telling us that he thinks that the Bucks are going to be a bad team this year, which I want to push back a little bit on that. I think that I think the Bucks are not going to be as good as they were last year, and especially not as good as they were the Super Bowl season. But I definitely think Mike Evans, Russell Gage, Tom Brady, and Leonard Fournette can get it done. And I think they'll probably end up with 10, 11 wins. So I think they won't be as good as they were, but they won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So if they aren't as good as that, then they're still going to be above average team. So I'm more than happy going with a pass catching back on Tom Brady's offense, especially when he falls 5 picks as far as ADP goes. So, you guys know that we like going 2 elite running backs in the first 3 rounds. Done it for a long time. We're going to continue to do it. That's one of our favorite strategies. So yes, I'm trying to learn. I do want to make some, get some variety in my fantasy football portfolio, but I still want to go with my gut and how I'm feeling, and I'm going to believe in that this year. And if that bites me in the butt this year, then we'll switch it up next year. But right now, we're going to go with that. But I will say, after you get two solid running backs in the first two rounds, it is time to start hammering wide receiver and looking for those values after that. Because the idea is that those two running backs are going to carry you through the majority of the year. So, we still need a third decent running back and then a fourth potential breakout, and then a fifth, like, long shot. But we can disregard running back for a couple rounds and grab some wide receivers here. I would love to get Terry McLaurin. That's who I have my eye on right now. And then if I start to look at potential stacks, we could pull up the big board and see what our picks coming up here are, because I'm looking for either Matt Stafford or potentially Derek Carr in the later rounds. So let's see. We have Matt Stafford at 95, so that could work out. Derek Carr at 106. That would be a little more difficult. Russell Wilson at 77. I'm looking at that, just thinking of the potential if we end up with a Jerry Jeudy. Tom Brady could be interesting, but I don't think we're not going to reach on him, so we probably won't get him. Yeah, Matt Stafford is looking pretty likely, so I like that. I'm just trying to see who else we can grab. Justin Fields is right in our range. We've been getting a lot of Justin Fields, though, I will say. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing for our second quarterback, because I don't want to just be banking on Matt Stafford, because if he goes, then we're kind of screwed as far as stacks go, just because he is a later round quarterback. In comparison to the more elite options, I guess I'll say. So we're gonna keep an eye open, because the other option is to go like Lamar Jackson and Rashad Bateman, but I don't want to reach on them. I have so much Lamar Jackson that I probably have to chill out a little bit. Now Joe Burrow might fall in our range, and that is a potential grab for us. But I don't know. I think we're just gonna have to play this by ear. We're gonna shoot for Matt Stafford. Maybe one of these wide receivers that we get in the next couple picks will help us decide. We'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, I'm looking for Terry McLaurin here, but there he goes. So right now, Deontay Johnson is our preferred choice. Looks like Darren Waller went kind of early as well. We had our eye on him a little bit. So I would love to come away with Deontay Johnson and Jerry Jeudy, but we're just going to wait and see. Cam Akers goes. This guy already has 3 receivers, so I'm hoping he passes on Deontay Johnson, because that's who I really want. And he goes David Montgomery, which is a little bit surprising, but, that's fine. So we're going to go with Deontay Johnson, just like we said. A lot of people like to argue Deontay Johnson because of the quarterback play, but if you remember last year, Ben Roethlisberger was probably the worst quarterback in the entire league, and he still had a very respectable year. So I honestly think Mitchell Trubisky is a step up from what he was, the position he was in last year. So I'm totally fine going with Deontay Johnson here, especially with Juju Smith being removed completely from the offense. They do have George Pickens and Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool is a clown. I'm not really worried about him. George Pickens is you guys know that we've been drafting him a lot, so I think he is set up to have a very good season. But Deontay Johnson is the far ahead leader in the wide receiver 1 position. We're gonna go with Jerry Jeudy. Yep, we get Jerry Jeudy to fall to us. I really do want to go Breece Hall, but I have to refrain and go Jerry Jeudy. And the reason I like Jerry Jeudy so much is because that sets up a Russell Wilson stack for us to hopefully stack Jerry Jeudy and Cooper Kupp with Matt Stafford and Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is pick 77. Matt Stafford's pick 95. Let's go to the big board and see how that lines up. 77, we can get here at 75. I'm okay reaching 2 spots. And then what was the other one? 95, we can grab at 94. So that's what we're going to do. We're probably going to go wide receiver. Actually, we might go running back, quarterback, and then wide receivers. But we'll have to wait and see what the value is. I'm really open to wide receiver, tight end, and running back. But we're just going to have to wait and see what shakes out because I do want to just play the room a little bit. We're going to need another running back here soon, especially knowing that our round 7 and 8 are going to be taken up by quarterbacks back to back. I think it is a good thing to go running back sooner rather than later because I think you can find values at the wide receiver position a lot easier than you can find values at the running back position. So that is in the back of my mind as this. Whoever got Brees Hall is pumped. That's in the back of my mind as this draft progresses, is what I was saying. But Brees Hall fell far. I wanted to take him, and like this is where he fell 10 picks. This is where I like you can make the argument for the wide receiver 0 running back strategy because I could have went instead of Saquon Barkley, or let's just say instead of Leonard Fournette, I could have went with like a Keenan Allen or AJ Brown or Tyreek Hill as my wide receiver 2, and then got a Brees Hall instead of Leonard Fournette, which you definitely could make the argument that Brees Hall is going to be equally as productive as Leonard Fournette, if not more productive. I don't necessarily believe that. I think that Leonard Fournette is in a lot better position to get in the end zone. But, at the end of the year, if we look back at Brees Hall had a top 5 performance, I don't think you could say you're surprised. So I am jealous of whoever got the value at pick 56 for Brees Hall. But if you look at their team, like they did the same thing. I could have went Brees Hall with my 2 starting running backs. But now their wide receivers are Mike Williams and DJ Moore, who, they're both solid, but you're gonna need more than that to get through this format of a fantasy football draft because 3 of your receiver scores count as well as a 4th in the flex if your wide receivers outperform your running backs, and that's what you're hoping for because your running backs have a lower ceiling than your wide receivers do. So it's much more valuable to try to set your team up to have a wide receiver score count for the flex position as opposed to a running back. Now, obviously, you're going to have your games where a running back pops off. 3 of your guys are just absolute studs and have huge weeks, and your wide receivers are slow. And, yeah, you'll have a running back score count then. But if you're prioritizing running backs over wide receivers, what's happens is the running backs that you get in here, let's just look. Actually, we'll look after this, but if you're looking at T. Higgins ceiling versus Leonard Fournette, like I know they go in the same range. T. Higgins ceiling is way higher than Leonard Fournette's. We've seen T. Higgins go for 40 points, 40 fantasy points before, probably multiple times last season if I'm not mistaken. Whereas Leonard Fournette, a really good game for him is 30 points, which is not bad, but it's just different. So Dalton Schultz is available here, which I actually really like. Joe Burrow is also still available, which I'm not going to go with. The quarterbacks we're looking for. So I think what I'm going to do here is go Dalton Schultz. Looks like he's back at minicamp. That is always a good thing. So we'll get a tight end 1 going in there, which we said we were looking for that value. So, we got it and we'll take it. And then we're going to continue to look for Russell Wilson here at 75. Which I would think we would get considering Sky 200 Shady already has 2 quarterbacks and PJB has 1. It's very possible we don't, but I think we're looking pretty to get Russell Wilson, but we'll see. I would have loved to try to go Tom Brady, Russell Gage there and get the double sack with Lenny, but he doesn't fall to us. I don't know where he went. Looks like he hasn't gone. Where's he go? Yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know. Maybe we could have gone Russell Gage and Tom Brady. Like, that was definitely doable. But we're going to stick with our plan. The whole reason we picked Jerry Jeudy was to get the stack with Russell Wilson. So we're going to stick to that plan. I do think Jerry Jeudy has more talent than Russell Gage. And Russell Wilson is a little bit fresher in his career at a new start in Denver. So I think I'd rather bet on Jerry Jeudy and Russell Wilson over Tom Brady and Russell Gage. I love this stat. I always think it says throws FOR touchdowns, throws for touchdowns, baby. That's what you want your quarterback in the NFL is you want a quarterback that throws for touchdowns. Honestly, that's just the name of the game at this point, to put as many touchdowns on the board as possible. So that's what we're looking for. Dak Prescott is a potential stack now as well, but he will not fall to pick 94. So, no way. I wouldn't want to reach far out to stack Dak Prescott with Dalton Schultz. I'd rather just stick with Russell Wilson, get the lower ADP guy, and stack him with a wide receiver. Because again, wide receivers have higher ceilings than tight ends do. So that's what we're chasing here. And that's the mentality you want to go into the tournaments with as well. You're really just looking for the absolute peak score, disregard injuries, disregard ifs, ands, and buts. You need it all to work out perfect if you're going to win the top prize. So just go in there, look for the highest ceiling team you can put together, and take that route and put together multiple teams with that strategy. Now, how you get to that strategy and how you put that team together, that is how this is all. That's what we're doing here. Is we're trying to figure it out. It really is like a puzzle. It's a lot of luck in some regards, but it's also a lot of skill, and you can put real juggernaut teams together if you know what you're doing, especially if you're in an inexperienced lobby. So, we're still inexperienced compared to, I'm sure, a lot of you, but we are definitely more experienced than the average drafter, I would think. Because, like I said, we do these drafts every day, sometimes multiple times a day. I can't wait to get into my office leagues and my friend leagues this year. I feel like I'm just gonna absolutely kill the draft. I think what's gonna happen is in my friend league is, especially my friend league that doesn't really know what they're doing. I think I'm gonna draft an absolute juggernaut team, and then I think probably three of my starters will get injured, and I'll end up losing the league because we do league punishments, as every friend league should do. And I do not want to be a part of that punishment. Last year's punishment was, I don't know if you guys know the video game Among Us. It's like a very basic game of Clue almost. And you can join and play with random people. And it's fun if you're like everyone's blacked out or whatever, and everyone's had some drink. Maybe not even blacked out. That was a little bit aggressive. But if everyone's has some drinks in their system, it can be fun for a few games. But the punishment last year was for someone to stream Among Us for 12 hours straight, which that is brutal, especially when you're not with your friends, because you're just with a bunch of random hardcore Among Us players that you have to like type to. I don't know. I tuned into that stream a few times, and he looked so bored. 90% of the time, he's just googling plant information because he was so bored. So that was our punishment last year. If you guys have any ideas of punishments that we can do this year, and you want to drop in the comments, I would love that, and I'll bring them to the. I'm the commissioner of that league, so I'll bring them to a vote in our league, and we'll see if that gets picked. Maybe if you suggest something good and it gets picked, then we will pay for you to get into a puppy draft or something. I mean, nothing super like exciting and a huge giveaway, but that it could be a fun little thing for you guys to have a little competition to see if their idea gets voted in, and if it does, then we'll get you in a draft or something like that. That could be fun. Because I think the punishments are more fun than the actual prize money. The prize money ends up being like, a few $100 or something, which is, that's nice, but it's so much funnier to watch your friend go through the punishment. Unless it's you, I'm sure. I haven't been in the position to, I haven't lost a league yet, knock on wood. But I'm sure it's not fun for them. As a matter of fact, I know it's not. Okay, so we have a lot of teams on some wide receiver runs here. So they are going to have to stop taking wide receivers soon, which means we can capitalize on that. Now, we are going for our boy right here. What's his name? Matt Stafford. And then we'll probably go, I need to go wide receiver, but at the same time, I might go running back. I think I have to go running back, actually. Let's see what the board looks like. Tony Pollard, Dak Prescott. Oh, I was gonna say if Dak Prescott made it to us, we will take him all day. What was he at? Yeah, he was 6 picks behind ADP. So Matt Stafford is 95. So okay, so well, no, PJB is one quarterback. I was gonna say we could try to grab Tony Pollard or something here, and if PJB had 2 quarterbacks, I'd feel pretty comfortable that we could make it through these 4 picks without getting Matt Stafford sniped. But I'm not gonna risk it. I'd much rather just go. And I mean, Tony Pollard gets taken anyways, but I'd much rather just take him here and make sure we get him because that was like the whole reason, or that's like the quarterback plan we were going with there. So let's stick to that. Oh, I thought he went there for a second. So we're gonna go Matt Stafford. No throwing during OTAs a month ago. Stafford did on Monday due to inflammatory injection he received in his elbows off season. Was a 6 weeks after the injection that his arm was feeling great, but he'll continue to play it safe. Okay. Doesn't sound like a big deal. So Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, pair him up. Russell Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, pair him up. Very balanced team again. You guys know this is how we like building our teams, just extremely balanced. Now, my thought here is, do I go? Let's see. Hold on. Let's do this real quick. Let's go to the big board. We're going to rush. 118, 123 is our next picks. 118, 123 is down here. This is Michael Gallup. Okay, this is a wide receiver range. So we're going to hold out on wide receiver. We'll go maybe Tim Patrick double stack down there. We could get a running back fall to us, but we're going to go ahead and take Kareem Hunt, I think. I was thinking Melvin Gordon for the Russell Wilson double stack. But we got to go Kareem Hunt. Just because of the talent. I mean, the talent is absolutely incredible with Kareem Hunt. He is the passing back out of that offense. The only thing is you're not going to have as many red zone trips because Jacoby Brissett is leading that offense for the majority, if not the entire season. But what that might do is when you have a more a less talented quarterback playing, they tend to do a lot of checkdowns and target the tight ends a lot. So, being that Nick Chubb doesn't catch any, he doesn't have pretty much any targets out of the backfield. That's all Kareem Hunt. We might get some passing action in his game this year, and I think they're going to lean on the running game a lot in Cleveland this year as well. So, and then obviously, if anything happened to Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt is a top 5 back almost automatically. So we'll go with Kareem Hunt. I did like the idea of Melvin Gordon there for a second just because of the double stack, but I think what we want to do is we don't want to waste the double stack on Melvin Gordon. We'd rather take Kareem Hunt and then go for the double stack on Tim Patrick in the next turn. What is that going to be? The 10-11 turn. So that's the idea with that pick, and I think that was the right pick. Now, could we have skipped running back there, gone Kadarius Toney or Robert Woods, and then grabbed maybe get like a Chase Edmonds falling to us or Ramondre Stevenson falling to us? Sure. But I really do like the running back room to be secure because I do think it's a fluctuating position and we have some injury-prone backs here that I don't necessarily want to put it off too long. Now, you do see that Kareem and Saquon both have Week 9 buys, but I've told you before, I don't really base picks on that a whole lot. It looks like we're probably just we're just gonna lose Week 9 anyways. Our tight ends out, 2 of our wide receivers, 2 of our running backs, and a quarterback. So we're probably gonna lose that week anyways. So that's okay. I'd rather just limit it to that 1 week if we can. Let's go to the big board and see what's going on. Okay, so this is something I will say to you guys, and I've said it before. I'm going to keep saying it. Don't overlook Robert Woods. Robert Woods I think he is an absolute stud at pick 106. At round 9, to be able to grab Robert Woods. He's going even after Treylon Burks. I think people are wanting Treylon Burks to be A.J. Brown and think Robert Woods is going to be like a Corey Davis. I think it's going to be totally opposite. I think Robert Woods is going to be the clear number 1 receiver and Traylon Burks is going to be worked into the offense at a slower rate. So I have been smashing Robert Woods, and I will continue to smash Robert Woods as these drafts go on. It even sounds like he's not even going to miss that much time from his injury at the beginning of the season, if any at all. So I'm going to continue to crush Robert Woods. Kadarius Toney, I love this pick as well, but I do think I'd even rather have Robert Woods over Kadarius Toney. That's probably going to surprise a lot of you, and you probably will disagree with me, but I'm going to continue feeling that way until otherwise noted. This was a crazy wide receiver run. I didn't even realize this. I was looking at these runs that the teams were doing, but this was what, 8 picks in a row. That's a lot. So we were gonna go Tim Patrick double stack, but psych, that's not happening. But what that means is they're reaching on wide receivers right now. So we're gonna get someone of value falling to us. I don't know who. We'll look here after this pick, but someone of value is gonna fall to us, and we're gonna capitalize. So we're in 2 picks. Let's check out so here's the values. Chase Edmonds or Ramondre Stevenson. Now, Chase Edmonds will be a no-brainer for me. I will 100% take him if he falls to us. These guys both have 3 running backs, so it's possible. So that is my hope and my tactic right now. The ideal situation for me here would be Chase Edmonds and Michael Gallup. Chase Edmonds goes. Little surprising, not going to lie. I'm just waiting to see what Wonder Kid does. 1 quarterback, 3 running backs, 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Very balanced team, so he could go anywhere. He reaches on Pat Freiermuth. That's fine. We're going to go Ramondre Stevenson. The thing about him is he's almost like a boomer bust. He could leapfrog into a top 12 running back this year. I think his talent was put on display last year, very obviously and very in your face. I don't think it was up for question. It's just with Damian Harris and a Bill Belichick offense, you really have no idea what it's going to look like when the season comes out. So we're going to take him here, especially since the value was a 6-pick value, and we like really shoring up our running back position. At the very least, I think he's going to provide a couple spike week games that we can use. And that's kind of on the lower side of outcomes. And then on the higher side, he's going to be a breakout running back. So I like the running back room right now. Now we're going to punt it for a long time, and we're just going to start smashing wide receiver. Michael Gallup, I'm honestly shocked he's going as low as he is. I think he is so much more valuable than Rondale Moore and Kenny Galladay. McCole Hardman. I think Michael Gallup is far better and has he produced in an offense where he was the 4th option in the receiving game, and now he's arguably the 2nd. So, and it looks like his injury is not even going to affect him as much as I originally thought it was. I thought he was going to miss like 6 weeks, but it looks like he might miss 1 or 2 in the beginning, and then it's going to be there the entire time. Amari Cooper forfeited over 150 targets for them. So, one sec. My underdog is scratching at the door. We'll get him to come say hi. 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 So this is Zena. I've introduced you guys to her plenty of times, but my fiance is vacuuming out there, and she is terrified of the vacuum. She's totally fine with thunderstorms and fireworks, but the vacuum is no bueno. So we have ourselves a drafting buddy now. Gas me up on these boards on the wall, though, huh? It's got the top one, you can't see it. Top one is Mark V Supra. This is a RX-7, FD RX-7, Mark IV Supra, Lamborghini Huracan. And I got some plants. Gas me up. Gas me up. So as we said before, we are smashing wide receiver. The only exception is going to be we're going to grab a tight end we'll probably grab one tight end in this turn. Maybe Albert O, since we didn't get the double stack with Tim Patrick. We'll get the double stack with Russell Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, and Albert O. I think that's our strategy here. We'll stop with 2 tight ends, and then we'll pretty much just draft wide receiver for the rest of the draft. If we look at the big board, we can see how many picks we have left. So out of these 7 picks, 1 will be tight end, 1 will be running back, and then the other 5 are going to be wide receiver. So that's the strategy here. That's the strategy I go with all the time. I know you wide receiver, 0 running back build drafters out there are probably pulling your hair out watching me draft, and that's how I feel about watching you guys draft. It's just against my better judgment, and I have a hard time doing those drafts. Sometimes I've done a few on my channel where I set out to do 0 running back builds, and I'm just like I'm stressed the whole time. I'm like trying to chase running back. I'm not confident in my running back picks. It really is hard for me to do those wide receiver heavy drafts. I usually, and honestly, I say I'm running back heavy, but I'm usually pretty balanced. Like I don't like chasing positions. I like making my my team balanced and keeping that kind of equilibrium throughout the entire draft, so that when values fall to me, I feel like I can take them. Because if I'm chasing a position and a value, like say I'm chasing running back because I went with 4 wide receivers to start. If a wide receiver value, even if someone drops like 15 picks behind ADP, I feel like I can't take him because I have to take a running back, and I don't like being in that position. I like drafting more balanced so that when a value does fall to me, I can capitalize. And that's how that's what we're talking about here. That's what we're going to continue to do and see how it works, and we'll make some adjustments moving forward because I'm sure there's going to be things that we learn and things that we did right and things that we did wrong. So we're going to learn from that. But right now, we're going with our gut. We're doing what we feel is best for our team. And we'll just see how that works out. We will see how that works out. So you guys know we're shooting for Albert O. Now the question here is what the tight ends look like on these teams. They both have 1 tight end, so we can't feel comfortable letting Albert O go through. So we'll probably take him first over, we'll take him at pick 142, and then we'll go wide receiver at pick 147. Although I will say I think Van Jefferson and Devontae Parker are leaps and bounds better and more valuable than Josh Palmer and KJ Osborne. I will say that. I will say that. This guy's 2 tight ends, so no real threat here of Alberto going. So at least we'll know we'll get him. We'll be able to stop at 2 tight ends. We'll have a double stack and a single stack with our quarterback positions. Let's just lock it down. So what we're hoping for here is that Devontae Parker or Van Jefferson falls to us, preferably Devontae Parker. I really do like him this year. Both these teams have 5 wide receivers, so it's very possible that we get him to fall to us. But then again, you see teams drafting 9, 10 receivers sometimes. So 5 is, that doesn't really mean a whole lot. Both these teams are very balanced, so they could do whatever they want. Okay, so we get Devontae Parker. That's who we wanted. Bolster pitches, wide receiver core. What is this? Oh, yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah, so that's good. I like Devontae Parker this year. I think Devontae Parker and Michael Gallup are kind of similar. They're wide receivers that are going to get plenty of targets that I think are undervalued because of their previous situations on the teams that they were on and injuries. So I think they're a little bit forgotten about. I'm not saying that they're going to be like in the T. Higgins and Keenan Allen range, but I think they'll be more valuable than what their ADP leads you to believe. I think they're going to show value in probably this range right here. Elijah Moore, Devontae Smith. Adam Thielen. Like I think they'll be in this range as far as value goes, and you're getting them, 5 rounds later. I mean, Michael Gallup more so than Devontae Parker, but who knows? I mean, Mac Jones. Do you guys remember the picture of Mac Jones in Alabama where he's like looking like a chubby boy after he won the championship? He's smoking a cigar and he just is looking like he got a little bit of doughboy on him. But I saw a picture of him a couple weeks ago, and he's been putting in the work. He's been putting in the work in the gym. Bill Belichick's been on that ass apparently, and I heard reports coming out of camp are that he's taking huge strides in the second year, and he really did pretty good last year as well. So I could definitely see him taking a step in the passing game, especially with his new receiver in Devontae Parker, and they could link up and be a really deadly combination. So that is definitely in the range of outcomes, and I like drafting the element of the unknown because within that thought process lies a lot of value. You can get players that can have a lot higher ceiling than what their ADP would lead you to believe. And this is why I like the strategy of shoring up your running backs by basically round 10. So because you can't find I don't think that with the running backs you're banking on an injury. The wide receivers, I'm talking after round 10, the running backs you're banking on an injury. The wide receivers are very, very good options without any or any injuries happening. And if an injury did happen, it would only elevate what they already are presenting. That's why I feel like the strategy that I go with is so much more comfortable because I think I can pick out those wide receiver values better than trying to guess who's going to get injured in this running back range. So that's how I think about it. That is how I think about it. Now, obviously, we're going to go wide receiver again. I'm not stressing running back. I'll probably wait till like a Marlon Mack or something like that. We're going to try and go probably 3 wide receivers, running back, and then wide receiver. That's what I think is going to happen, but obviously we'll see what the value looks like. But if I had to guess, that's probably the strategy we're going to go with. Just bang out wide receiver for the next 3 rounds and grab just some shot in the dark running back in probably the 17th round. So our pick is coming up here in 2 picks. Let's see what's going on in the rankings. I will say this range of running back is getting a little bit enticing because after this, I mean, Darrell Williams has if James Conner did go down, Darrell Williams would be, I think the talent of both Darrell Williams and Gus Edwards actually is extremely high, and they could take over the role if they wanted to at a starting position, but we don't need a running back. We assured that earlier on, so we're gonna take the chance on. We're going to go Alec Pierce. That kind of hurt, to be honest. I think I prefer Marvin Jones, but I don't have a whole lot of Alec Pierce, and I think that he does have a higher ceiling. Alec Pierce is much more likely to pleasantly surprise than Marvin Jones is, but I do like Marvin Jones better, I will admit. KJ Hamler, honestly, I probably should have went Marvin Jones and KJ Hamler for the double stack, but thankfully Sky Shady goes Sammy Watkins, and we get Marvin Jones anyways, so I like that. Yeah, so we'll go with the running back in one of our next 2 picks just to be done with that, and then the other 2 of 3 will be wide receiver. When you get into these later rounds, you end up drafting very similar people almost every time because a lot of times you can get your values falling to you here because everyone kind of has their guy they like, and no one's really reaching on anybody. It's just kind of how it all shakes out. So I have a lot of the same players when I get down here. A lot of John Mechie, a lot of Marvin Jones, A lot of Julio Jones, a lot of Will Fuller, lot of I don't know, George Pickens. I'm trying to look. Did Will Fuller not go already? Is that true? Yeah, Will Fuller's still on the board. Wow. Will Fuller's such a stud in this range. I'm not saying he's like one of the best wide receivers in the league, but in this range, he is. I mean, he is such a steal. And again, this is the unknown I was talking about. If there was no unknown behind him, you would never. He would be ranked in as far as ADP goes in the proper range, and he wouldn't be this crazy value. But right now, it's possible he doesn't get on a team, and that's why his ADP is as low as it is right now. And if you are willing to make that bet and it works out, then you basically got a 10th round player for a 15th round price. So that's kind of why I like. I think a lot more of those situations line up for wide receivers than they do running backs. Usually, a team knows who their starting running back is, and that's the guy. And unless they go down, that will continue to be the guy. Whereas wide receivers, you could have a couple explosive games and really blow the lid off the entire wide receiver room, really at any moment. So let's check out what's going on. I don't know. Very, very standard. Two quarterbacks. Did he? No, he went with three. So I kind of like that. First quarterback is pick 107, and then you grab two below average quarterbacks in rounds 14 and 15. That's kind of nice. And that's probably what I would do if I went with a wide receiver heavy start, because then it would still free me up to basically do exactly what this guy did. Go wide receiver heavy, grab a couple running backs along the way, and just punt quarterback to free yourself up for some more wide receivers in the earlier rounds, like the 10 and above. So I like that. Maybe that's what we'll try if we're doing a zero running back build. The only difference is I probably would have went with like CeeDee Lamb and Devontae Adams, Cortland Sutton, Darren Waller's fine, then JK, Josh Jacobs, Hunter Renfrow, and CEH. That's probably what I would do. But he's got the double stack with Hunter Renfrow, Derek Carr, and Darren Waller. I love that. I think Derek Carr is one of those players that you can get an insane value on right now, based off of the points that he is. What I think he will produce over the season and where he's being drafted, I think is kind of a imbalance. I would not be surprised if Derek Carr finishes above Tom Brady. Call me crazy, but that's how I feel. We are 2 picks away. Both. So this team has 5 running backs. This team has 4. Wonder Kid will probably take Marlon Mack from us if I had to guess. Actually, Arashi does. That's unfortunate. So he went with 6 running backs. Yeah, that's fair. Hayden Hurst goes. So we'll go with J.D. McKissick just to lock down the running back position. Is that what we want? Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. What the hesitation there was because I do want to try to get Will Fuller, and it's possible he goes in these next 4 picks. Probable, I would say, actually, and I was thinking about maybe we could go Brian Robinson instead, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens here. I really do want to come out with either Nico Collins or Will Fuller, and we see Nico Collins go there. So if Sky Shady leaves Will Fuller, we'll take him, but we'll see. He goes Paris Campbell, yeah, so we'll get Will Fuller here at 195. David Bell is a very good value, but I'm not really looking. Am I looking? I can't do it. I just can't do it with the quarterback play. I think Njoku is still fine. I think Amari Cooper is still draftable. I think that both running backs are still draftable, but anything further than that is hard for me. Now, that being said, I have gone David Bell plenty, I will say. I do think David Bell is looking like a very strong prospect. It's very possible he comes out and surprises the league with a strong wide receiver two season. So I'm not saying that's not going to happen because I've been buying into that stock a little bit as well. But for this specific team, we're going to go Will Fuller and just keep it moving. And I really do like the way this team's shaking out. I think we have a lot of strength in all positions. Very balanced team. Very balanced team. Now we have the third to last pick. So this is really where it starts to get exciting. Oh, sorry, sweetheart. Sorry, sweetie. You want to go back out? Hold on, I'm going to let her out. The vacuum monster has subsided. Oh. Ooh. The vacuum monster has subsided. Can't play around with the vacuum monster. You never know what it'll do. Okay, so I'm not really even sure what wide receiver we're looking for here. I would definitely take John Mechie, but no way he makes it. If we go down here in this range, we're really starting to get into a gross area. Byron Pringle and Brian Edwards is usually who I'm going with down here. I mean, yeah, I don't see a whole lot of other people I really want to be involved with. We have 2 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 8 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. So we don't really need anyone in any position. So I guess we could go with like a Jerick McKinnon if he fell or something like that. I mean, that's very possible. But I don't we've talked about it the entire draft at this point, but I just think a breakout spike week for a wide receiver is so much more likely than it would be for Jerick McKinnon. Deontay Foreman, I mean, that could be a league-winning pick if Christian McCaffrey went down. So if you want to make that bet, that's fine. I understand. And I have made that bet a few times as well. But, with the running back room we have, I just don't think we need anybody right now. I could also go Braven Jordan and get a third tight end. Again, not needed, but when you're comparing him to the other surrounding players, maybe. Deshaun Watson, you can make the case for him. If he did come back, he would be a stud for the past few games of the season. Right in the, if we were in a tournament, like maybe that would be a little bit more appealing. So that would be an option. These are just the thoughts that are going through my head right now as I analyze what's going on. James Washington would be our third Dallas Cowboy, but it would be basically every receiving option in Dallas other than CD Lamb. So it looks like we're going to have our pick between James Washington and Byron Pringle. I think that's who says he'll be okay for training camp. Rob Gronkowski, maybe. Braven Jordan, talked about him. Zay Jones, no. Byron Pringle. Yeah, I mean, Byron Pringle is really the only other option I'm looking at there. But I'm just going to go James Washington. It's a lot of Dallas Cowboys, but basically if anyone other than CeeDee Lamb catches a touchdown, we will get those points. Sorry if that was loud. We will get those points. And in this area, I'm okay taking kind of an insurance policy at wide receiver than someone like Byron Pringle. I mean, Byron Pringle will probably have a spike weeks as well, and we've drafted him plenty. He's a wide receiver too, so he's a little bit more value in that area as far as depth chart goes. With a worse quarterback, a less productive offense. So that's kind of the thought there. We ended up with a really decent projection. Not good, not great, or not great, but good, fine, of 2,700. Again, you guys know that I don't really care too much about that. 4 bye weeks in week 9, so we'll probably lose week 9, which we were looking at a little bit earlier. And then the other weeks look to be fine. We have 3 Dallas Cowboys and Denver Broncos, one of them being a stack, one of them not being a stack, just grabbing all the receiving options in Dallas. And then everyone else is pretty much spread out. Oh, yeah, we have Ramondre Stevenson in New England. So our final team here is Russell Wilson, Matt Stafford at quarterback. Running back being Saquon Barkley, Leonard Fournette, Kareem Hunt, Ramondre Stevenson, and J.D. McKissick. Our wide receiver core is Cooper Kupp stacked with Matt Stafford, Deontay Johnson, Jerry Jeudy stacked with Russell Wilson, Michael Gallup, Devontae Parker, Alec Pierce, Marvin Jones, Will Fuller, James Washington at wide receiver, and then Dalton Schultz and Albert O stacked with Russell Wilson. So this team looks extremely strong. I'm happy with the way it came out. It almost gets like, you basically, when you do this many drafts, I mean, you can see how many we've done. 2 entries, 24 in Puppy, and then however many this is in these drafts. So we probably have close to 40 leagues altogether. And when you do this many, it's, in your head, you kind of just lump it into a good team, a bad team, or I think this team's going to win some money team. It's only like those 3 categories. And, this is like in that good team range. Like, I would not be surprised if it does nothing, and I would not be surprised if I'm not going to say nothing. I think it's either going to land us in like a middle finishing spot or a winning finishing spot. So this just kind of gets put in that category, and we just keep drafting and keep getting those lines in the water like we talk about. So that'll do it for this 4th of July stream. Let me go ahead and finish this on stream. I hope you guys are having a good time. Say what's up to everyone that you care about today. Tell them all you love them, and hang out with friends and family. Have some quality time. Eat some good food. Drink a beer or two, and enjoy your holiday. I am appreciative that you guys came to tune in for this stream once again. If you do want to get involved in these fantasy drafts, go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Your first deposit from $10 to $100 will get matched 100%. Use code FFX54 in the checkout menu to support me. Takes nothing away from you, but shows me that you guys are enjoying the content. Otherwise, just subscribe to the channel. I told you we're going to keep these coming throughout the season and for seasons to come. So go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss those. Hit the bell so you don't miss a notification that we're live streaming, so you can hop into the chats and get involved. Like the video if you do like the video. And until tomorrow, I will see you guys. Get into some drafts. Have some fun. Peace out.